bang, we discussing the scales. Blood pythons and short tails, no fairy tales. Dropping knowledge about the herbs, wisdom prevails. Keeping the reptiles safe, breaking out of jails. Bloods and butchers spitting fire for the serpents. Edging terrain, no need for disturbance. Straight facts, no myths, bringing the resurgence. Herb in community, we foster and cure. Beneath the surface of the scale, secrets unveiled. Red tails wagging, stories detail. Always in your living room, knowledge without fail. Hissing out the wisdom, spreading through the mail. Tongues flicker, seeking out the truth. Non-stop learning, preaching it to the youth.
Hey guys, this is Ashley, otherwise known as Short Tail Sweetie. Doing a little podcast thing, kind of match up, mesh up partnership with Untamed and Unhinged. So this is my first episode. Little excited, little nervous. And then I got my friend here, Chai, representing some short tails. And we got our special guest, Arachnid Cat, with us.
Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate
Not a
it.
problem. Yeah.
Yes.
Our sponsors today would be Creative Reptiles with our friend who also created a little bit of my logo. Very thankful for Elias. And then we have one more sponsor. It was what is it? Do you remember what the sponsor was by chance? Shed Outfitters for all your reptile outfits, ball python shirt drops, all of that.
Check out the
All
shirts.
right.
They're really good.
Awesome. All right, so we'll start with some basic kind of questions to start. Like, Kat, what do you do? Where are you from? What kind of tarantulas? Or are there any other creatures you got going on?
Yeah, of course. So arachnid cats. I specify mostly in behavioral and educational arachnids. So I have tarantulas and I also have other arachnids like true spiders. But at the moment, I don't have any true spiders. I just two of my wolf spiders passed away, but they did give me some babies, some little spiderlings.
Okay.
I do have an amplopygid, the tailless whip scorpion. It was a gift from Junior at Epic Reptiles. And yeah, I mostly, my tarantulas, that's what I have. And what I do with them is I also educate people and help them to get over the arachnophobia.
I love to hear that.
Thank
I remember being afraid of tarantulas, spiders myself. Absolutely. Though tailless whip scorpion is still one of those fears that I am actively overcoming, and I'm coming to enjoy them, her, she. I think it's a girl.
you.
So that's really awesome. That's really exciting.
Yeah, and I really love how in this hobby we have both, the arachnid hobby and the reptile hobby coming together. And
Absolutely.
maybe 10 years ago, you hardly saw that. It was just focused on reptiles. So
Mm-hmm.
within the last 10 to 15 years, the arachnid hobby started to grow a little bit more. And after all the social media and even in the media, a lot of people would use arachnids for arachnophobia, and they would just paint it as this monstrous thing. And
Yeah.
the professionals, we want to steer away from them. We want to encourage people that no, these arachnids are not out to get us. They're not,
Mm-hmm.
they're not painted as these monsters. And that's what we try to do in the hobby.
I think a lot of people, even just little house spiders, they all freak out. Hi, Will. They just all freak out, wanting to,
Mhm.
just unfortunately kill it right away rather than try to understand it. So I think
Right.
that's awesome that we're trying to, you yourself and I keep a little bit of some tarantulas, trying to showcase that they're not bad creatures. They're not out to just bite you. They're not aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And that's why I'm so thankful for Discovery Channel and the Nature Channel
Mhm.
Some shows, I gotta say, some shows, because there are some shows that still paint reptiles, just like snakes and other
Mhm.
arachnids, as monsters. But
Mhm.
that's why I feel like in this hobby, we're growing so big in the community where we can derive other people to not so much criticize this hobby as, oh, it's just a hobby. No, it's not just a hobby, it's a way of life.
It's a
And
lifestyle for
yeah,
sure. A
a
drug
lifestyle.
problem.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah,
not for the faint of heart.
yes, that should be like on a mug. All right, you're drinking your mug and you're just like, ooh, this is my lifestyle.
Right? Maybe Shed Outfitters can make some more merch with it's not the
Yeah.
faint of heart, right?
Yeah. If you're watching, please, we need those cups. We need those mugs.
Yes, all those coffee cups.
Yeah.
Um, do you yourself have any like fears or like any phobias of any creatures right now?
And no. So when I was I would say 5 years old, I was a devious child and I was never afraid of anything. I was the black sheep of the family, and I was the strange kid. I was never afraid of anything. And the one thing that everyone was afraid of in the house was spiders, except for me. So that I will always bring them inside the house, and you know, it was
Yeah.
it's my thing. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. You've never really had a fear.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know when I first started with like arachnids, again, this whole hobby for me started probably about 3 years now. We're in 2025, 3 years.
Mhm.
Um, and I recently just got into the spiders probably about 2 years ago because I got introduced to true spiders or like jumping spiders. They have personalities
Yeah.
and and I got to talking to people, my friend Jess from House of Less Food.
Okay.
Definitely check her out. She's awesome. Um, kind of learning more about that and getting comfortable with jumpers. And then finally one day I was like, you know what? Let me hold this tarantula. What is so bad about it? Let me experience this. And
So
they're
how did
actually
it
pretty
feel?
cute. How
How
did
did
it
it feel?
feel?
Yeah, for you.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit of a sensory overload, but
Okay.
I really actually kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It was, I like to get scared. I like facing my fears, and
Okay.
that definitely was like, okay, I kind of like this. I kind of want to do more.
Yeah.
Thrill seeker.
Right. My nephew, he has this sensory thing too. Um,
Yeah.
but he also, I helped him to get over that sensory issue and with that fear. But I noticed that with I love one of my two favorite topics is tarantulas and mental health. So
Mhm.
with I know with mental health, there's like this stigma between like addiction and stuff like that. But when there's a certain like aura when it comes to tarantulas, like just the way that they look and the way that they move, it's really relaxing. And I know that when I first held a tarantula years ago, I immediately felt this peace, like this. I sound like a weirdo, but it was like this calmness, like just the way, like it was just walking.
Yeah.
It was just. Yeah, it's
Wait, the
something that you need to
slow
experience.
movement, the slow
Yeah,
movement with the
yeah,
long legs, absolutely.
yeah.
I know, like I said earlier, I'm currently facing my fears with the whip scorpion, and I think it's more just the sensory overload of when they move really fast on your skin, and I'm just like, oh my God. I know she can't bite me. I know she's not going to do
Right.
anything to me, but it's the sensory overload. But I will say I'm proud of myself. It's the third time I've had her out since, I've
Yeah.
had her for about a year. So
Wow. Do
that's
you get like that
awesome.
with your snakes? Like, does it feel soothing for you?
I was going to say, it's very soothing. It's very relaxing, almost therapeutic when I have my snakes out and they're
Hmm.
just doing their own thing or sitting on my lap. Um, I know snake therapy. Um,
Hmm.
that's just something that I like, emotional. If emotional support snakes could be a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
I'd have one with me all the time.
yeah. Wow, I
It's
just remembered. Now that you mentioned that support, I used to work for a company where we used to pick up children and we used to bring them to special needs daycare and stuff like that. And I remember one of the children, they actually had a snake, and it was a small one. I don't remember what snake it was, but it was wrapped around her arm. And so she had her caretaker, and I asked the caretaker what is why is that there, like why does she have that there. She gets a lot of seizures, and so what that snake does is whenever she feels like she's going to get a seizure, the snake constricts, and supposedly it helps alleviate that nerve or something. I don't know, it was so
okay.
interesting. Yeah, it was
Huh.
very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Very
snakes
cool.
do help.
I
That's
think educating those young minds too with like
mm,
the special, kids
yeah.
special needs in general. um
Mm-hmm.
they're the ones that are essentially going to be our future. So the more that we expose them and teach them these snakes, these spiders, these tarantulas,
Yeah.
whatever it is not something to be afraid of. It's not, snakes on a plane. It's not the movie Arachnid. Like, it's not like this.
Yeah, yeah.
um the more that they'll build more of a curiosity and a more an appreciation. That's what I hope happens when, I'm an old lady. I remember probably a week or two ago, I had the same situation where there was a little girl, and she was in the store that I was working at, and she, really loved the store. She loves, goes in there all the time. She loves the snakes. I said, "What do you think about tarantulas?" Tarantulas aren't really my thing. I don't know about those or spiders. I said, well, let's go check it out. Have you ever seen a jumping
Mm.
spider? And I pulled out a little bold little boy jumping spider, and we just sat and played with it on her hands. And she's like, oh, he's kind of cute. So I got a little kick out of that, trying to convince her that they're not all bad.
Right. Yeah. Did you know that jumping spiders, all jumping spiders, they have the same brain capacity as a dog, but
Really?
yes, but it's kind of debatable. And okay, so jumping spiders, even though they're small and they have a small brain, obviously, but their brain capacity, they're not the same as tarantulas, obviously. But so tarantulas, their brain capacity is nothing. It's all
It's just,
instinctual instincts.
sleep, eat, that type of
That's it.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. But a jumping spider can actually create bonds, and you can actually train them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, have you had that experience?
I have. And then like I'll get like the head tilt or like the little
Yeah.
tiny wave, and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
The only downfall for my jumpers is they don't live as long as a tarantula. That's
Yeah.
the heartbreak,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They're
So
so intelligent, and then that's
I
it.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm very much, this next Tinley show that is
Hmm.
coming up next month, I'm very much trying to convince myself I really want one, but I'm also like, just be aware though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why a lot of people get them when they're really, really, really small.
Yeah,
Like,
the tiny
yeah.
babies.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll ask you when I'm there, what should my next tarantula be?
Yeah. But I always suggest a Phainopelma species.
Hmm.
That genus in general, you'll be all set. However, um, I wouldn't suggest getting them as a sling because you will have that sling for like 10 plus years, the same size. They grow
Oh, really?
incredibly slow. Yes. So, yeah, I mean, a grammostola does grow slow, but it grows much faster than an Aphanopelma. So
Hmm.
for your first tarantula, I do suggest a grammostola species. Yeah.
I have, um, that was actually one of my first tarantulas, was a Grammostola, like Black Beauty type
Okay.
of thing.
Yeah. The pulcra.
Yep, yep. And then I got into the curly hairs. Um, and I have a pink toe. We had a purple Perpea.
Prepare. Yep.
Unfortunately, yeah, just passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Things happen.
Hmm.
Um, and then thus far, my like newest addition, my most recent, has been a Grammostola rosea, and tiny tick thing that I spent, too much money on, I think, but you know what? I hope it really pays off in the end.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
Definitely.
hope it doesn't stay tiny tick size forever.
Hmm. I mean, you can, but it's kind of frowned upon. Power feeding. So what
Oh
power
yeah,
feeding? Yeah. So what power feeding is that you excessively feed them constantly more than the
yeah.
usual limit,
Kind of
and
like in the snake world. Yeah.
yeah. So what that does is it puts them or pushes them into pre-molt faster, but
Mhm.
that's more dangerous and that's kind of really frowned upon. But there is another hack. You can speed up the process if you leave them a little bit more warmer. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
Hmm.
'Cause I know my house is like on average, and this is wild for some people. It's 80, a consistent 80. So I
So
don't know if
summer all
that is
year
that.
round.
Yeah, yeah. So like I don't know if that's too warm, or is that a good temperature? Should I bump it up?
So um I always say to whatever species you have for tarantulas, make sure you know which species of tarantula that it's coming from, like what
Mhm.
region,
Right.
so that way you can mimic their cycle
The
season.
condition. Mhm.
Yes. And so you can also like help them to brumate like snakes. But
Mhm.
they don't, yeah, I would follow their natural cycle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hi, that's my mom.
Hey.
Mom, we made it.
Look, mom, no hands.
Right, yeah. I do
Your
have the
snake
snake
can
still on
say
my
that.
lap. He's
Huh.
on my lap.
Is that the one that I saw when we were on the other chat? Oh, that's Chai.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
Chai. I can bring out my big old thing, but that story's for her. Something I just learned. Um, since we're always learning in this
mm-hmm.
community, I just realized that short-tailed pythons have hemipenes, whether it's a female or a male. So I kind of got confused there the other day,
Mm-hmm.
because when I first purchased my bigger short tail, my blood python, my blood hybrid, I was told that it was, a bank of blood, a male. And, for the last year, that's how I recognized that it's a boy. And then something in me, I was like, you know what? I've never seen hemipenes on this for, a hot minute. And the size of this snake is kind of shocking to me. Just if this is a male, this is a very large male.
Oh,
So I had the place that I purchased it from recheck again. And then I was told it was a female. So then I'm going a year into it again, thinking that it's a female.
wow.
And
Back
then,
and forth.
I think, yeah, two days ago, I was handling her, and she decided to show those hemipenes again, and it really confused me again. And then everybody decided to educate me in the short tail world that doesn't
Yeah.
matter if they're male or female, they have
Wow.
those parts. It's just it's a different color, depending on male or female. I guess uh males have thicker and more purplish, whereas
Hmm.
females have thinner and smaller. So I'll have to look back again,
Hmm.
but that's something new that I learned.
So are they sexually dimorphic?
Remind me what that is again.
So you can have I think in the animal world, that's you can have they're both female and male. I think that's what that is.
Okay, like
Yeah.
a.
Or like you
I'm
can
not gonna.
no, I'm sorry. You can tell that they are male or you can tell that they are female. So for snakes, how do you tell on in general all snakes? Like how do you tell if it's a male or
So
female?
usually, most of the time, it would be, most snakes, boys have hemipenes. That's easy to tell, right?
Mhm.
Um, or some people the old way, it's kind of outdated. They'll do the tails, depending on if it's a longer tail, it's a male.
Oh.
So there's that way. Um, but again, like I didn't know that short tails in particular, or if this goes with any other species, they both have that for
Oh,
them.
that's interesting.
You learn something new.
Yeah. The more
Did
you
you
know.
right, put a rainbow over it? Is there anything that you learned that is new or
Um,
any?
and something that I learned, not really. I mean, I wish I could say that I would love to learn something new if I about a tarantula, and I'm sure I will. Um, but for tarantulas, how you can tell if it's male or female. So usually we always look for the males. So for adults,
Mm-hmm.
juveniles and slings are a little bit of a gamble. But for males, they have these in their front legs.
The
Um,
boxing gloves.
yes, the boxing gloves. Those are called the emboli, and some of them have tibial hooks. So that's how you know that they're really mature and they're ready to mate.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can
Okay.
have a male that just has the emboli, the boxing gloves, and not the tibial hooks. So that's how you know that his next molt will be mature. So if
Okay.
he does mature for the next one, the next molt, and he does have the tibial hooks, that means he's mature and ready to mate. So whenever you see a tarantula that has those things, you know that's a male. And usually
Okay.
males are more leggy, like they're
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lanky and leggy.
Hmm. Yeah. And
I
most
think that's what
species,
my little curly hair is right now.
really a male?
Yeah, he's got the long,
Okay.
long, and I think I did see like a little hooker,
Yeah. Wow. Well, I have a female if you want to do a breeding project. Let me know. They don't really
I
have
got
that
a big
many
female
babies.
too. Her name's Shirley Temple.
Oh, that's cute.
Because I thought, curly hair, curly Shirley.
Surely, yeah. That's perfect. That's the perfect. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Yeah.
That's
Now
perfect.
I learned, I think the other day too, about tarantulas with tarantula cat. I know you can feed some tarantulas pinkies
Hmm.
or like pinky mice. I have
Hmm.
yet to do that, but I know at like a certain size, crickets,
Yeah.
dubias ain't really cutting it. So I
Yeah.
figured I'd try that one of these days just to
Yeah.
make bigger abdomens, bigger booties.
Yeah. So the general rule of thumb with the pinkies and the size of your tarantula, kind of like with snakes, you don't want to feed them uh, an item that's bigger than their abdomen or bigger than the length of the snake, the length of their
Mm-hmm.
their body. So a lot of people do, or not a lot of people, but I've seen that people do feed Theraphosa stermes and blondies, the Goliath birds, bird eaters.
Mm-hmm.
They do
Mm-hmm.
feed them pinkies. Um, more more so mice. So like a good sized little mice or mouse. Um, I wouldn't do that personally, a live one,
Right.
just because there's a lot of risk. Like in the wild, you will see that it's a gamble. Either the tarantula will win or the rat will win. Because
Mm-hmm.
they can both fight and they both have fangs and stuff. So
Right.
I would just feed frozen thaw.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do here in the snake community. After like a certain size, it's like, okay, this is getting sketchy now, or will
Yeah.
turn into something sketchy.
Hmm.
Um, so I always recommend at least, frozen thought or transitioning to
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Excuse me, tired. Um, So we talked about like what like a first beginner tarantula would be like one
Yeah,
of
so
the Gramastolas, you said?
a beginner, I would say a Palma, Gramastola, Titocado. And those are your basic
Mm-hmm.
beginners. I wouldn't, so yes, generally they are docile.
Mm-hmm.
Those three species, they are docile, but of course you always have those days where you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You know, you could have, like, I could say I have my grandma solo poker here, Gotham. He's a sweetheart, and you could
Mm-hmm.
have one too, and yours could be like, "Ah, don't touch me."
She's very much feeder
Yes,
motivated.
yes, yeah,
So I was like, I
like
thought I was getting something docile.
right. But the good thing about tarantulas is that every molt they have a different personality. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a gamble too. You know, like
Yeah.
I hope you have a good molt, a good personality when you molt, please.
Imagine if people were like that.
Ah, that would be a trip.
Oh gosh. I mean, I guess they say every 7 years we shed skin cells, so new person.
Hey, that's true. Do snakes get different personalities too when they shed or?
So usually, obviously, the shedding process is very vulnerable. Same with tarantulas.
Hmm.
So they can become a little bit more defensive or a little bit more like reactive. It's a vulnerable state.
Hmm.
I know when my big girl here just recently came out of a big shed, she was feeling herself. She was feeling kind of spicy. I haven't had her try to bite me in a hot minute, and she tried to bite me. I said, "Oh no, honey."
Oh wow. Ready to
Oh
attack whenever,
god.
huh?
Yeah, yeah. Usually for the most part, it's just that transitional, like they're in that blue or, shed state.
Yeah.
That's usually where I try to leave my guys alone, let them kind of rest and relax.
Yeah. Hi Kyle. I'm catching up on all the
All the comments and stuff, yeah.
yeah. I
Y'all
have
are
it
flying
here.
by.
I have it here on my phone. Say hi everyone to yourselves.
A lot of new
Yeah.
faces. A lot of new faces. I'm very
Yeah.
excited.
So I'm
Do you
excited
have
for
like
this
a
interview.
favorite?
Huh?
What do you have a favorite like tarantula this far of
It,
yours? Like a
oh,
favorite species?
oh yes. Oh my goodness. So Grandma Polka, the Brazilian black, the black lab.
Yep. Mhm.
That would be my first. My second is the Acanthoscira geniculata. Woo! They are gorgeous. So they are the black and white knee.
Yes.
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 Yes. I had that
Thank
one.
you for dumbing that down just a little bit for me. I know the common names and I don't speak Latin.
Yeah. So when you're a tarantula keeper, in the beginning, you do start off with common names.
Mhm.
But once you start learning more and more, you do end up learning that um, the scientific names is a must. You must know it.
Yeah.
And that takes time, but it's pretty easy
So
to.
you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yes, yes. But not only that though, I gotta tell you, there's these common names for the Brachypelma genus that is just ridiculous because there's Brachypelma homori, Brachypelma smithi, or radum.
That's what happened. I have a Mexican red knee too, and I was like, wait, do
Yeah,
I have a Smithy, a Hamori? What's
right,
happening here?
right. So in America, like you could be in Texas and be like, "Yep, I have a Brachypelma homori, the red knee," and then you go to California and they'd be like, "Yeah, I have the same one, but we call it the flame knee." And
Yeah, I've heard
it's
that
like,
one too.
yeah, like that's why it's so important to know the scientific name because you could have different common names and
Yeah,
people think that they're all the same and they're not.
gotcha. I
Yeah,
do have. Oh, there's one that starts with a B too. With the brachycephaly.
for the
I
tarantula.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, blanking out here. But I
what?
do know that I have a Hamori.
Okay.
I do
Um,
know I have a Hamori.
Yeah, show me a picture later, and I could tell you if it's Hamori or Smithy, because they are identical, but there is a tell that you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I
think
actually
my
gave
next tarantula. What was that?
I gave mine my Brachypelma. Oh my god, it's Boheme.
Yeah,
It was
that's the name. That's the name.
oh, that's the one you have.
Yeah. No, the one that I got like a brain fart on.
Ah, okay. Oh my goodness, their hairs. I can't.
Yup.
Oh, it's just
I'll
that
itch right after. I'll itch right after.
I know, right? I'm getting itch. Like you say Brachypelma Boheme, and you're like, get it
Yeah.
off, get it off.
That's the only one that has like made me itchy.
Yeah, I
So
always say it's the worse than a Theraphosa, the Goliath. I always say that it's the worst.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So for people watching, what I'm talking about is the hairs. So New World tarantulas have these hairs called, hi Junior. So they have these hairs called irradicating hairs, and what they are like sharp bristles that feel very not sharp, but they dig into your skin and make you feel very irritated. And so that serves as a protection. So they kick those hairs off whenever they feel threatened, or they use that for other things too. But when they kick that hair, oh my goodness,
I
it's
know.
horrible,
And
horrible.
that's usually my guy's first reaction is just to
Hmm.
do that.
Yeah, yeah. So is the Nandu genus. I don't know if you ever heard of the Nandu, like the Nandu tripepi.
Hmm.
I love saying that, Nandu tripepi. It's so cute. It's like a pep in your step.
Right?
But yeah, they have the worst hairs too, but they're so cute.
Why
Why
do they
do they
kick
kick hair?
hairs?
So, okay, I'll give you three reasons. So, one, whenever they feel threatened, they kick their hairs off to defend themselves.
Hmm.
And two, whenever they're gonna molt, they make a web mat, and they first they lay out a webbing, a layer of web, and they kick off those hairs so it serves as a barrier for like predators, or it's just instinctual. So they kick those hairs off, and when they molt, that hair protects them from the outside world. And then the other reason is this goes more for mature males when they're on their way out. So they kick off their hairs, and that's another indicator to know that they're gonna pass away pretty soon.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, it's so funny how uh, snakes and tarantulas, even though they're different, they have
Like there's
similarities.
similarities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is sad. Yeah, but I was just reading the comments. There's like a
Yeah.
delay, like a little delay, a little bit.
We're doing it though.
Huh?
Wait, so we're doing it though.
Yeah, we're doing it.
I was gonna ask you, obviously educating kids and stuff,
Hmm.
but is that like what really makes you like, is that the rewarding part of being in the tarantula community?
The education part is yes, very much. I really just want a lot of people to get that stigma out of their minds. A lot of that stigma comes from abstract terror. And I really want to just educate people that, whether it's a reptile, snake, or a tarantula or spider, yes, they look scary. I, I,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't agree, but I can sympathize and I can understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But they do so much for this planet and even inside your house that you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, they are the backbone, you know? So I just really want people to not misjudge them
Mm-hmm.
and just have an understanding, basically, of what
Yeah.
they do. Yeah.
You don't like ants and roaches in your house? Them house spiders that you keep trying to kill.
They're doing you a favor.
Exactly. They're paying their rent.
Yes, perfect. Yes. That little cobweb you see up in that corner, leave it. Just leave it. Don't touch it. Don't touch.
Oh gosh.
Seriously.
I know for me, I'm similar like you. I like educating because again, the blood pythons or short tails, bad rep, they're gonna out and get you and bite you. And it's kind of same way with like dogs too, like
Mm,
certain breeds and stuff. I think a
mm.
lot of it is just temperament. I just picked up a white lip python yesterday, and that's another one that everybody's like, oh, be careful, they're known to strike and bite. And
Oh,
no, he's actually super docile, super, almost like, why are you this friendly? But you know what, I'll take it.
yeah. Do they go for any age that they are? Are they usually that way?
I know, like, a lot, you'll hear a lot of people, the babies, they can be a lot more nippy.
Mm,
um Usually as they get older, they kind of grow out of it.
mhm,
Again, I haven't had too many issues. The only snake that I have ever had that I've had to really work with is my Central American boa. Um, Very actually rewarding bond with her, just because when I picked her up, she'd bite and, latch on to you. And it took me a lot of, understanding instead of being fearful, because I was a little nervous. I was a little, I don't know if I can do this. But I kind of was like, no, I'm going to get through this. I have faith in myself. We're going to work through it together. She's just defensive. She's scared. She doesn't know me. She wasn't handled prior. So that's when I started, taking her out more and getting her handled and used to being out more. So now we got a good relationship now. But it's stuff like that. We're educating people. We're, you
yeah.
know, not
So
it's
can
not a
you
particular species.
yeah. So can you tame down all snakes or
Me personally,
your in your collection, maybe?
um, just that particular one, I have, I think, built an understanding. Um, Personally, I've never tamed down anything. I've handled funky retics, and some fun, not so nice berms. Over time, again, more handling, um, knowing, hey, is this animal hungry? Uh, don't want to handle it if she's feeling hungry at the moment.
Mm,
Just knowing that stuff.
yeah.
Um, but personally, no, I am not a snake master. I'm not out here taming cobras.
Oh wow.
Although you know what? I really have a fascination with the venomous species, but
Yeah. What
I
about
don't know if I'll be working with them.
so maybe not a cobra, but what about a false water cobra?
I've only seen a couple of those. I think they're super pretty.
Mm,
I think if I did get something venomous, and I have a guy, uh, gaboon vipers or a rhino viper, I would love that. But I'm also like, I need to build up some experience because I don't want you guys to read my obituary.
uh, those are the ones with the horns, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And they got like some of them are kind of bluish. Um, Super pretty. Super pretty.
Wow. I love animals with horns. I'm like,
Right? You were like the other day I remember you were saying there's a horned tarantula.
yes. Yes. So there's one species that we know of a new world that has a horn, the S. hoffmanni, and then there's a few old world. So there's a Ceratogyrus darlini, Ceratogyrus marshalli, and the Ceratogyris sandiri. And there's another one. I just can't think of the name. It's a long, really long horn. But there's that one, and then it's the I just got one from Tom Patterson. It starts with a B, but I can't really think of the name. It's such a long name, but the great rhino horn it's called. But yeah, I love it.
That's
Are you good?
awesome.
Would you get one?
Would I get one? A horny
Yeah.
tarantula? Oh my god, that sounds bad.
I just
Maybe I would try. Sorry, guys. I got a funny mind. Um, maybe I would try it. I've never seen a a horned tarantula.
a horn. Oh, you never wanted a horny tarantula,
For breeding.
right? We're talking about horns here. Horns.
Yes, exactly. I am too.
But yeah, they're actually I would say the top three old world species for beginners.
Yeah, I
I
think
just
I really want a pokey, but I don't know if I should do it.
no, not right now. No. Yeah, I would put that last on the list.
Yeah,
Yes, only
I heard
because
they teleport.
yes, mostly old world they do teleport, but the Poecilotheria they are more medically significant, and same thing with the HMAC, the H. maculata. They're more medically significant. It's not that you will die. There's no proof. There's no indication, and there's no scientifically speaking, you cannot die from a tarantula bite. It's
Right.
impossible.
But you're
Yeah.
gonna want to feel like you want to die, I
Yes.
hear.
Yes. You will feel that for the next 2 weeks. Yeah.
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 Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, the Ceratogyris genus, yeah, you'll be good with.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
You'll have to send me something.
Yes. I will send
I'm
you.
hoping I can find it. If I can find it, I'll grab it.
Yes. So in Tinley, it's gonna be a big one this year. So I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of new incoming. So I'm sure you'll
Mhm.
find one there. Yeah.
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 That's
Hopefully
like
I can go this year because I just got
I
my
hope so too. I think everybody needs to experience their first Tinley, whether
yeah,
it's the beginning show or the ending show.
yeah. I think Tarantula Cat is gonna be there and Richard might be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not me, guys. I'm Arachnid Cat, not Tarantula Cat.
Make that
She
clear.
I
Make
love
that
her.
clear.
Yes, I love her. My
I love
goodness.
her too.
Yeah. But it's really funny because we're the same age. We have the same, what's that word? Biological name? Birth
Yeah.
name? Yeah, name. Yeah.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And so when she started out, I kind of started out around the same time.
Mhm.
But I didn't know about her until like 3 years ago. And so when I was starting out with this, I'm like, what should my name thing be?
Yeah.
And then Diana, Reptile Fur Mom, she's like, oh, you should do a Arachnid Cat because that's what you do. That's your thing. Like,
Right.
no, but I feel like I'm like, I don't want to like copy her. But no, she's like, no,
Mhm.
you do your own thing and she does her own thing.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I mean, hers is tarantula. Yours is arachnid. I could see the difference.
yeah, because I mean, we do both the same things, but I
Right.
really do study more the behavioral aspects of the arachnids. Yeah. So
Yeah.
at least there's a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that there's ladies too, and like
Hmm.
getting more into it because that
Yeah.
seems not to throw shade at my ladies, but ladies tend to be a little bit more fearful of, snakes and tarantulas and
Hmm.
arachnids in general. So seeing another woman in the community is
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. I love that. Like you are you wouldn't have seen that 10 years ago either. Women
Right.
in this type of line of work or in the hobby, and they were
Mm-hmm.
mostly frowned upon back then. But
Yeah.
now,
You're a freak.
yeah, but yeah, now it's good. I love it. We support each other, and I think we should continue doing that, supporting each other.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I know in this field, um, are detailed with
That
information.
is
Oh, of
true.
course.
That is true.
I know the women and like the, you know, this snake in general, blood, short tails. It's a masculine snake. It's a big bodied snake. I see a
Yeah,
lot of guys handle them. So I was like,
yeah,
me being, I like to challenge people just a little bit, and I'm like, I'm a lady, and I'm working with this big ass snake that's
yeah, yeah.
masculine.
There's
Oh
nothing to it
God.
but to do it.
Right? I know I saw Sarah from Blue Bonnet Bloods really
Mm-hmm.
love her work and dedication and her breeding projects because she breeds for temperament.
Mm,
Really informative, really awesome. So I think a lot of people just, oh, this look, this genetic looks great,
yeah.
and it's all about, temperament and how that animal's going to be in the future. So she always looks for docile type of short tails. So
Mm.
she's definitely my go-to when I'm like, I need some information.
Will you
Besides,
breed?
Richard Crowley or some of my other friends out there that are gentlemen,
Yeah,
she's my go-to for women in the industry type of thing.
yeah. Will you breed yours?
That would be a future goal of mine. I think at the
Mm-hmm.
moment, not right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Space, money, that's a factor.
Yeah,
And again, I'm still learning. I'm still very new. I'm not going to be cocky about it and just, oh, I'm just going to pair a male and a female together and see what happens. Like, I don't think that's the right approach to go about it. So I would
mm-hmm.
like to learn more, get more opinions, um, learn more lines and genetics before I put myself in that situation because I don't want to have 15 to 20 babies that I know nothing about that, have to
Yeah.
stay with me because nobody wants to buy them or anything like that.
Or the
So,
space.
or the space. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So maybe down the line there will be a Bloods and Brutes type of breeding plan.
Nice. I can't wait for that. I want to see that.
That would be really awesome. I'm excited, but I'm like, I'm not doing it right now, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're taking the right approach and being responsible because a
Yeah,
lot of people
I
out there,
don't,
they just wing it. They impulse and they go into it, but it's not the way
and
to
I
go.
don't want it to be like the ball python pyramid scheme that's happening. I don't want to do,
Oh.
the blood python
Hmm.
pyramid scheme thing that's been going around. I'm just
Yeah.
selling to other breeders so that they could get money and, da 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 da
Right.
da.
Mm.
I'm not about money. I'm about,
Yeah.
behavior and educational learning. So
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's the way to go. That's the smartest way to go.
now, have you ever bred any tarantulas yourself?
I've bred my wolf spider and my some of my widows. I am in some projects coming up with some of my male tarantulas. So up here are all my males,
Mm-hmm.
and this one right here, he just made a sperm web yesterday.
Oh,
Uh,
so he's ready.
yeah, that's my T Shidori. So it looks like I think he's gonna make another one, but no, he's not because he just made one yesterday. So I messaged a few people and I let them know that, he's all set. He's ready to go. You know, I don't know if you can see him in the orange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's all set to go. But I am looking for a female Grammostolepokra for Gotham because his next molt, I really don't want him to molt out mature because they don't really last long after they do, but I do
Right.
want to breed him. Yeah.
I think I'm really hoping that I have a female. I have
Oh, you're.
not.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really hoping I have a female.
Yeah.
But just by telling by the legs this far, we got some lanky legs, so I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But I
So,
will let you know. I will let you know if she's a female.
yeah, give me a call. So, you know you, how he's standing? You see how he's
Mhm.
standing like up against the wall or the glass?
Mhm.
Um, this is technically a type of method that you can tell if they're male or female by looking underneath. Um,
Is that they have little I don't want to
no,
say like ours it no?
no, those are book lungs. What I'm talking
Okay.
about is they have a small little black dot, and usually
Okay.
that's an indicator that they are male. But I wouldn't go by that all the time because that always fails. They're like, oh, I got
Okay.
a male, and then the next month
Right.
it's a female.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one way. But I do have a set of pairs that are the same age and same size of my horned
Mhm.
tarantulas. So one is a female and one is a male. So I do want to breed those. They are my Ceratogyrus marshalli.
That's exciting.
Yes. So
I think
maybe in 2 years.
I'd be afraid though, because I hear it can be quite the process when you're breeding any type of arachnid, right? Got to make sure that's the right
Yes.
man for her.
Hmm. Yeah. So you know how they
uh,
say in nature the female always eats the male?
hmm
That's
that's what happens.
yes. Especially the
Okay.
T vegans. I don't know if you know about. They are the man eater. They do eat the man all the time. Yeah.
Really?
Right after mating, they yeah.
Huh.
You do find some that they won't and they're just chill, but 100% all the time they would just that's it. Lights
Hmm.
out.
Now, do you have to supervise them, or do to hopefully, save your mail in the process, or you just
If
kind of let them have it, go
yeah,
at it, like we'll see
yeah,
what
I mean,
happens.
if you're trying to breed him again for someone else or for another pair, then you do want to, supervise that. And if you're in a breeding project with someone and that's your male, you
Hmm.
do want to you do want to tell the one who has the female, listen, please do all that you can to prevent him getting eaten because I want to save him
Yeah,
to do other projects. So that's
right,
something that you should let that person know.
right.
But sometimes, it just happens in a blink of an eye and, it's nature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can't control it.
that's true.
I know it's kind of like that with the colubrids. That's like I have a male and a female corn snake. Um, and I was kind of curious about pairing those two together, but now I'm kind of like, what if something terrible happens? I
So
don't want. What was
the,
that?
the female eats the male.
Yeah, there could be a potential of that, or like in hog noses as well. I have a hog nose. That can happen as well.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
so weird. I never knew
You
that.
yeah, and that's why it's like a lot of people supervise or, I know for the corns too, it helps obviously to brumate them to cool them down before you breed them. Um, I think that kind of helps that happen. What is it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, hog noses do try to eat their mate.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Wake up and be like, why is she so thick? Oh.
All those nutrients.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And king
Oh,
snakes
king
too.
snakes.
Yup, all of those.
Hence the name king.
Yeah, king snakes,
Yep.
corn snakes, milk snakes, all those colubrid friends.
Wow. That's awesome, though. That's pretty cool. It's
Oh,
wild, but it's pretty cool.
I know. Were you saying, I remember the one time I was talking to you and you said you were thinking about potentially doing a colubrid.
Yes. So the Mexican black king snake, I do like them, but a friend of mine, you should check them. You should check him out. Wellington Exotics. He has a
Okay.
he
Yeah.
has a Kribo.
I was working with a Kariba one point. They are so cool.
I love that. I love it.
And we've
So
done what is it? And I think I've handled an indigo before, or was that a Karibo? One of those. Another big ass colubrid.
I love how they have those markings on the side of their face. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mangroves have tried to eat each
Mm.
other. I think mangroves are really pretty. Are those the ones that are black and yellow? Not totally sure.
I've seen
So
those.
somebody will correct me.
Yeah. Like I know the colors, but I don't know. Yes. Okay.
Okay, good. I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, mangroves for 1,000, Alex.
For
This
1,000.
That'd be so cool if we did like a Jeopardy, like in the hobby. If we did like a Jeopardy night
A
gaming.
quiz night?
Yes.
Let's do it. Oh my God. I'm telling Chris about it now. He's watching it now.
Let's do it. Group chat. That'll be so. I mean, that's kind of fun though. Like, I remember when I was in school, you would do like flashcards. It's like vocabulary things. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one way that you could study. Like if you're new getting into the hobby, playing
He's doing that.
games and
Playing
stuff like that.
games. Or
Yeah.
if you're like me and have a little bit of the tism and you just go down a deep rabbit hole and watch
Yeah.
all the YouTube videos, content
Yeah.
creators in one night.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's how
um,
everyone started.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That is.
know Reptile Bay, if you look her up, she has a big old berm. She has a IMG boa, whole bunch of other crazy things, but she's always posting like kind of quizzes on her story every day, and I'm
Mhm.
like testing myself every day. What do I know? What do I know? And there's some
Ooh.
things where I'm like, oh crap, I got that wrong.
Ah, let's go. That should be sweet. Let's do it. Who's gonna be the host?
Not me.
Not me. I second that. Not me.
Get some Bloods and Brutes shirt. Oh my God, are we making shirts now? I'm excited.
Ooh. Your junior's got to make us some shirts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's just taking a nap on me.
Oh, he's still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see if you guys can see him. Can you see him?
Oh my
Just
goodness.
laying
So
on my.
snugged. So cute. I want my snake.
I mean, I can give you guys a quick tour if you want of all of my babes. If you
Yeah.
got time. You got time? Awesome. I'll show you some of my tarantulas too.
Yes.
All right. God, climb out of my chair. All right.
How long did it take you to get your enclosures?
So there's a guy at Tinley, and I love him, and he remembers me all the time, and I think it's because I dress kind of extra at each show. So if you guys see me, I dress a little crazy, and I'm rocking heels, and I'm sure everybody's like, "Why are you doing that?" You know, whatever. But I usually get these like black. I don't know if you guys can see the PVCs from him at a really reasonable rate. The only thing that he doesn't ship. That's the only problem. He'll make any size that you need. He just doesn't ship because It's expensive.
Oh,
So
wow.
I think I picked up like two or three of these for like $3.50. So
Wow.
not bad. Not bad. Not
Any
bad.
discount codes?
No discount codes for this man. I can give you his business card, and when you come to Tinley, all right,
Awesome.
I'll get the big girl out.
And
I
that's
will get.
your what snake?
So this is my blood python, my blood hybrid, Makali. So
That's cute. Macaulay. Macaulay.
I named her Makali after the Hindu goddess of destruction.
Oh, okay. That's cute.
Originally, I named this one Ramses after the Courage the Cowardly Dog episode,
Oh.
Return the Slab, and it's just the look of these eyes just reminded me of King Ramsey.
Oh, I
So I
love
originally named
pattern.
him Ramses. Then I was like, "Is this a chick? All right, Makali it is." And at this point, that's your name now, whether you're a boy or a girl. Well, yeah, this is the one that I'm like, I don't know what you are anymore, but I still love you.
Wow. And is it full
Very.
grown?
So she is about 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, I want to say that's almost there, almost fully grown, hefty girl.
Wow. Yeah, heavy, but not that long. So I like that.
No, she's almost my size. All right, I'm 5'8". I know I look like a little short thing in the camera. I'm 5'8", and she's pretty much my entire hip. Let's see. Let's
So a
get a good
good
angle.
6 feet.
Almost. I think if she continues to grow, she might be a full-grown man.
Wow.
Let's see. Upside down. Hold on. Wait. Ah!
Oh
Hold
my God.
on. Wait.
And
Yeah.
do you weigh her
I do
or
not
him?
weigh her.
Okay.
So in the blood world, which is different in the balls, the
Uh-huh.
ball pythons, everybody's like, oh, I got, a 596 gram snake. Yeah, baby, we don't do grams around here. We do pounds.
Wow.
I estimate, and I think she's a good 20
20.
pounds.
Oh,
Yeah, these guys are known to be at least 20 to 30 pounds. I've had some people say they had them at 40 pounds, 45 pounds, somewhere in that range.
oh my gosh.
So they are chunky snakes, and that is why I like them, because there are big snakes in small packages. I don't have to have
Yeah.
a big ass free tick. I can just have this babe. A
Uh,
good
yeah.
slapping, good spanking.
Yeah. That is so
Oh
cute.
god. So that's Ma. Give me a moment here. Get in there, babe. Come on.
I always say that I wish tarantulas, now this is not for everybody. This is just me. This is just me talking. I wish some tarantulas would grow to the size of a chihuahua.
No!
Oh,
No!
that would be my dream.
So you can cuddle it?
Yes. I have this weird, and I'm gonna say it live. I have this weird fascination of wanting to be like wrapped up in their legs. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You know that video? I don't know if you've seen that video of who sings it? I forgot who sings it. I don't know. I'll tell you later. But yeah, there's a song like that. Which one's this one? Ball Python?
This is Horace the ball python.
Ah,
So he's the one that you were like, he's so cute, just wrapped up around you.
oh, okay. Yes,
So he was
gorgeous.
one of my first guys. He's about 2, 3 now, and he just
Wow.
gets more freckles, more freckles. Here,
I
light changing.
see.
And he's the sweetest little guy. Hold on. So he's definitely one that he will nap like around me. I could do house chores with him.
I
He's
love
just
that.
hanging. I look like Mama Odie from Princess and the Frog, just hanging out with my snake.
Mm,
Juju, why didn't you tell me my gumbo was burning?
I love that how some snakes are just chill.
Yeah. These are one of the first snakes that me and my best friend got to breed, but they came to us. They're little neonates, so it's gonna be a long time before we can breed them. So I have
Hmm.
Brazilian rainbow boas.
Oh,
I
those are
don't know
the
if you know what
iridescent.
those are.
They're
Yeah,
iridescent.
one of those iridescent guys.
Wow, they are gorgeous.
So yeah, they were one of our first snakes, and that's definitely, I don't recommend that as like, I mean, you can have it as your first snake. If I can do it, anybody can do it, but it's the humidity and the temperatures. It's very hard. The humidity is like 99% humidity. It's very high humidity.
Mhm.
So with the Blood and Brutes kind of podcast, what I'm hoping for is to educate more people on the short tail species. Kind of, because I feel like, I don't know, there's a couple people out there that have them, but again, I want to educate more people on they're not a defensive animal or aggressive animal, I should say.
Mhm.
They're not always going to bite you. They're pretty chill couch potatoes.
Yeah. So, do a lot of people get them confused with ball pythons?
So Chai, the one that I had on my lap, everybody thinks he's a genetic striped ball python, and I'm like, no, no. There
Is he
are
sure?
hybrids, which are frowned upon,
Mhm.
and that's why I'm like also kind of, I don't know if I want to breed Ma, because um, speaking with Richard Crowley at a couple of shows, um, he told me that looks like it could be a hybrid. So I'm like, oh God, okay, want to be as pure as possible. I
Mhm.
know, pure bloodline.
Right. Hence the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she could be a blood. She could be a blood Borneo. She could be a blood Sumatran. Um, we don't know. I don't think I unfortunately will ever. That's one of those cases where I myself, being naive, first coming into it, did not do my research, and I just went to like my local pet store, and that's where I found her, and she took my interest. So yeah, I think that the next couple of blood pythons that I get, or short tails in general, will be from somebody that I know and they've bred them, and I can see the parents and what the lineage is, and et cetera, et cetera, because I don't want to just gamble and sell something that might not sell.
Right. Mhm.
There are blood balls. I think I'm very conflicted on how that is.
Why?
I think it's interesting that people and that we're able to breed or crossbreed blood pythons and ball pythons. I don't think structurally these are the ball genetics would work well. Just that's a heavy-bodied snake on a ball python.
Uh,
I feel some people might have a different opinion. And just again, like if you're trying to sell them, a lot of people are deterred because they are hybrids. They're not
pure.
pure blood,
Right.
you know, Aryan nation.
It,
No, no.
mm,
And Chris, you just asked me, do I like hybrids? Of course I like hybrids. I have one. Um, I just think if I were to breed them or like start breeding, I want to be as pure as possible. I want to do it the right way.
Mm,
That's
that's
all it is. That's all it is.
yeah. Yeah, we have some, or in the past, there were some, excuse me, hybrids, mixed breeding in the tarantula world. And
Mhm.
that was, I mean, a lot of it had to do with mix identifying the species,
Mhm.
but a lot of it, there were some people that
Which touches.
were hybridizing them, and that's just, yeah, it's not good for the
Right.
environment. It's not good for anyone.
There
Mm.
are studies on bald balls. So, ow. I'm not like this is just like my hypothesis. This is my own personal opinion. I'm not sure if there is studies at the moment on blood balls. I know they're recently becoming a new thing. Um, and I know that just recently I saw uh, a coral glow ball python. Really pretty animals, but again, from a breeding perspective, I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know what type of heating requirements and, am I doing ball humidity and heating or am I doing blood, you know?
Mhm.
Um, so there's a lot of questions based on there. And again, seller's perspective,
Mhm.
a lot of people want the real thing.
Right.
And those ones in particular, I saw they were trying to sell them for like $1,000. I've seen normal ball pythons and blood pythons be bred together, and people only sell them, for 150, 250. So it depends, I guess.
So why are they expensive?
The hybrids,
No, just snakes in general. Like I've always seen them so like in the
it depends on the species. And I
really?
think it depends on the species and the like retics are super cheap for some reason because that is like what, a 20-foot snake. I'm not sure why I can see
Okay.
a $200, $250 snake being sold at Tinley like that. Um, but then you have like mangroves for like I've seen them 1,000 or you know just crazy amounts. But then I've also seen venomous snakes like gaboon and rhino vipers anywhere from 150 to like 600. So it's like I think I would price the venomous just a little bit higher.
Why are the T.
What is it?
Celadonia so high price? Yes. So the T. Celadonia is a tarantula. It's the Brazilian jewel tarantula. They're
Yeah.
they're a dwarf semi-arboreal species that they do live a little bit longer, but the reason why they're so expensive is because their husbandry requirement is so difficult. It doesn't matter how well you do it, you keep it optimal temperatures, or it doesn't matter how well you try your hardest to keep them alive and the exact how you say, what's the word, environment. It doesn't matter. They just die. It's, I believe they are not meant to be captive,
Captive,
captive
yeah.
bred. Yeah. It's just they don't do well in captivity. They do so well in the wild. So
Right. I'm
that's
just
cool.
reading what Joshua just read. That's a good point. It depends on certain factors and certain genetics and
Wow.
for 100K plus, yeah. That's my best friend Sean. Um So yeah, we've been to the shows before,
Mhm.
and we've seen people drop full house payments on some snakes, and I'm just like, what do y'all do for work?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
always
then
something
like I said, like, but then you can see, retics for 250, or short red tail boas for, $100.
Mhm.
It depends.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, you would think with something that large, you would want to price it more, just because I feel like I wouldn't want to have everyday common people just have this snake.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen what happens when everyday people try to house this type of snake
yeah.
personally, and they don't realize, oh, what do you mean this is going to be a 20-foot snake?
Oh my gosh. So
Or
the
what do
reason
you
why so the reason why they're expensive is because they're so big?
No, I don't know why, again, why these red tails or
Hmm.
retics or berms are so. Berms are a little bit pricier for whatever reason.
No, just imagine what's it called? Anaconda?
Anaconda, I've seen those too being sold at Tinley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is so in America, is there a how you say uh like a legal thing? Like in depending on the state, could it be legal? Do you need a permit for an anaconda?
Not sure on that one. Um, I know right now Florida's a big one where you can't have a retic, you can't have a berm,
Um,
you need a lot more permits for that one.
oh, okay.
I don't know what it's like everywhere else.
Hmm.
Up here, you're good. You just need a permit for like hog noses, which I'm like, huh?
Something so
Make that
little.
make sense, babe. Make that make sense.
Yeah, that is weird.
Um, I think it was because they're invasive or endangered for the
Hmm.
hog noses, and they're native to here. That's what it is.
Okay.
And so that could be, I think, the reason why we have to have permits for that.
Hmm.
Um, that's where I'm at.
Mhm. I know
And
for tarantulas too, we there are certain states that, or actually a certain species cannot cross lines, state lines, um,
really,
unless you're unless you're giving them as a gift or on a breeding loan. So that goes for the Poecilotheria vittata. They are
okay,
the ghost ornamental tarantula.
okay.
Yeah, my dream tarantula. But yeah, in Connecticut, you can okay in Connecticut there's no selling tarantulas in stores, but yes, you can have tarantulas in Connecticut. Um, I forgot what other state that they can't cross state lines. Which I understand, and it's a safety precaution, and it's a it's very understandable. But I want it. I need it. I need it.
I I know my research. I know more than you. I can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's it's sad, but yeah.
I
With
think
it
one of my buddies down in Florida, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but you have to have a permit to have a Brazilian rainbow.
for what state?
Florida.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of restrictions in Florida.
Right? And I think it's because everything is freaking invasive in Florida. Everything just thrives in Florida, and
Yeah,
usually, the iguanas there invasive.
yeah,
Just everybody, I think, at one point had these animals, and then just decided, I don't want these animals anymore. Let them
yeah.
out into the wild, and now they're all breeding, and it's too much.
That's probably it. Same thing for Canada. I know they can't have certain roaches.
What?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I know if you watch Reptiliatus, he has a video on that about that.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I only have my cave roaches now. So
Yeah,
far,
I
they're
saw
doing
that.
good. So far, they're doing pretty good. I'm actually really proud of that. I started off with like 10, and
Yeah.
now I got a whole little family going.
Chris has said that he won't kill anything but roaches. And in my head, I'm like, they do so much for the world. They do so much.
They do a breakdown,
Yeah.
decay and
Yeah.
grossness.
Yeah. There's actually a
I
lot of good things that come out of. I know a lot of people say roach and they're like, ugh, but there's
right,
a lot of different species. Not it's not just the ones that you look that you
you
see on
know,
TV or whatever.
you think like the ghetto, like, ugh. No, those are German roaches, baby. We ain't touching those. But
Yeah.
but I will. Recently, I overcame my fear of the roaches. Um, so yeah, I had the hissing Madagascars. I've seen, what is it, the death heads. I thought those were cool.
Keep talking. I gotta plug this in.
Okay. The death heads. The dominoes I think are really cool. I might snag a domino.
I want the
Um,
green one.
the green ones are super cool too. But I think those can be pricey depending on the seller. Again, it's that factor. I
Mm.
won't touch a dubia. I will not touch a dubia.
And those are the ones that are common to give as feeders.
I know. To
Yeah.
me, it just reminds me of like the dirty hood
Oh,
roaches.
oh. I don't like dubia for roaches because they always dig and they play dead. So
Oh.
yeah, I don't give them to my tarantulas anymore. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
tarantulas don't want to eat dubias.
Yeah.
Like I will have dubias just sitting there for months, and I'm like, ew, why didn't you eat
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. So here's a tip. If you do want to feed a dubia to your tarantula, I would tongue feed.
Yeah.
And yeah, because if you just drop it in there, they're not going to hunt for it. They're just going to be like, what are you doing in my
Yeah,
crate?
and that's the mistake I did with my girl Shirley.
Mm-hmm.
I put one in there and it
Yeah.
matured, and I was like, this nasty.
Have you ever
They do
fed
like the super worms. They like
Yes,
the
I was going
super
to ask
worms
you.
and the hornworms.
Hornworms,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they be munching on those.
Yes. Yeah. So in the tarantula hobby, we don't call them hornworms. We call them gummy worms.
Okay.
Yeah. The super worms, they stay super worms, but the hornworms, we call them gummy worms. The blue ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've heard that like a couple customers that I've worked with at one point, oh, I let my hornworms or gummy worms sit for too long, and now they're like moths. And I'm
Yeah.
like, ew, I've never seen this happen before.
Mhm.
Like,
I have one pupating. It's in a cocoon, actually. It's in a cocoon.
okay.
Yeah. I left
You'll
it
have
in
to
with.
show me what it looks like when it's all
They're
winged up.
big. They're really big.
Like,
Yeah.
do they look like pretty butterflies?
Yeah, they're really
They
pretty.
do?
Yeah, they're really pretty. Um, so for the gummy worms, if the tarantula doesn't eat it and they do, pupate and then they go into the cocoon and then they come out of the cocoon, a lot of people do leave them in with the arboreals because the arboreal
Mm-hmm.
tarantulas will hunt for that and they love things that fly. So that's cool. Mm-hmm.
Gives them keeps their minds going.
Yeah,
Stimulation.
stimulation. Yeah.
I'm always about enrichment and stimulation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This was Isis.
Oh, that's the rainbow one, right?
Yeah.
That's so pretty.
And she's supposed
So,
to get like 6 feet when she's fully
oh, okay.
grown.
Wow. Why are snakes so big?
Unless it's a hoggy.
True.
Get yourself a hoggy.
I do want one though. A hog nose. They're cute.
I don't know if Massachusetts does Mass have permits, or do you need a permit for a hog?
I have no idea. I did see them at the expo, but I don't know if like say you say to like the vendor, oh, I want this hog nose. I don't know if
Yeah, if
he
they're
would.
gonna be like, you pull out your
Yeah,
license,
right.
like you're ordering liquor or cigarette.
Yeah. Are you over 21?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
got a
don't. Yeah.
special
So,
guest for you guys to show real quick. That little white lip, so Chris can see in person. Hey. So I named him Hades because of the he's all black and he reminded me of like, ooh, some big badass
oh.
underworld god.
Mm,
And we've had this discussion. I name my animals after mythology.
yes. Yeah. Me too.
All right, let's get some good light.
I want to get a ring light. You have a ring light?
I do, it just died, but
Oh,
but
oh
here he
my
is.
goodness. What is he?
Just a little boy. So he's a northern white-lipped python,
Oh, okay.
a D. Alberts.
Oh my goodness. They have a different shape like snout.
Like he's got right or like is it the white? What are you doing? Where are you going?
Chris says he
I,
names his after anime. Yeah.
he's got like a weird boa head to me, which I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're a python.
That is so unique.
So as he gets older, he'll get more iridescent, like the Brazilian,
Uh-huh.
and then he'll have like more brighter orange sides, maybe some darker black, and then yeah, he'll be again like in that 6 to 7 foot range for like males.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was just one of those where I saw at the store,
Uh-huh.
and again, I do a terrible thing where I just rescue these animals that I know damn well I don't need another rescue, but I take in these guys.
An impulse
He
buy.
an impulse buy. He wasn't doing I worked with him a year ago at the store, and he wasn't doing too hot the last couple of times I was seeing him. And we couldn't figure out why he wasn't eating. Because at one point I guess he was being force fed because
Mm.
he didn't want to eat rodents. Until one night my friend was feeding her emerald tree boa. Her emerald tree boa didn't want to take his meal, which was a chick. Get off the phone. And and I was like, I wonder if he would take this, huh? So I had him in my arms like this kind of, and I had the chick in the other hand, and I dangled it in his face, and he wrapped it immediately. So I was like, oh, you like chicken.
Oh, okay.
We tried all the methods we could. We've tried scenting, we've tried fresh, we've tried
Sensing it.
live, we've tried pinkies. He don't like rodents, so I guess he's my chicken boy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask this question. Fair warning to those watching what I'm about to ask, but it's very graphic. So I saw a video that in order to get, it was a ball python. This guy was trying to get him to eat. It was very, very underweight. And so what he did was he took the thawed my pinky
Mm-hmm.
and he took a scalpel and he made
Oh,
a
did he
slit.
brain it? Did he
Yes, that
brain it?
yes, and it worked. So
Yeah, and I normally, because that is graphic for some people, um, I mean it works. It's like snake crack, I hear, essentially.
yeah,
Um, but I've never tried that
okay.
personally, but I have heard of some people doing that.
Yeah, because I heard that it mimics them hunting in the wild. Like if they find a dead rodent or something, like they would,
Yeah,
discard it. So
very interesting.
yeah, I was just wondering if you did that for.
I did not. I did not.
Okay.
Hold on.
But like in dire situations where your snake is refusing every feeder possible.
Right. I'll do anything that I absolutely can.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. I thought you went silent. Signal. And Shortell Sweetie has left the building. We will soon return in a moment after these messages. Have you ever felt that you do not know anything whatsoever in the world? No, I don't. What should I do? Well, try Go Along Water. Oh my goodness. And we're doing this live, and sometimes this happens, but it's okay. Chris, help. Chris, we have frozen. So I guess it's just me. That's not awkward at all. It's a wait. To what? Oh, okay. I guess this could be a good time to do my show and tell. Okay, so today I got a special package from Juice's Arthropods, a GBB, a green bottle blue. I don't know if you guys can see them. The Chromotopelma cyanopubescens. That little tiny thing right there. I don't know if you can see them. So they go through a lot of morph colors. And they are heavy Webbers. I'm reading the comments. Yeah. So they are heavy Webbers, and I would say semi beginners for a beginner to start off with. However, they are known to be, they kick hair a lot. So if you don't mind the hairs, I mean, their hairs are level 2, so it's not that bad. So if you want a GBB, I suggest, yes, go ahead and go with the GBB. And I also have with me my Grammostola pulchra, the Brazilian Black Lab, right here. I don't know if you can see him. Usually I do free handle only when it comes to maintenance. I don't just free will and handle my tarantulas. That's something that should not be done. Usually, like if I'm doing maintenance and I open the lid, he just comes right out. And usually he knows when the lid is off and he's ready to come right out. But yeah, so the Grammostola pulchra, I'm just going to put this just in case. So the Grammostola pulchra are the best in the tarantula world to have. A definitely beginner species. I love them, obviously. If not, you will have to end it. Okay, so this was a really great show, and I think Ashley did an amazing job. So clap for Ashley. She did an amazing job, and it was very educational. And I hope you guys also loved this show for this episode. Chris, you are amazing for having this to be possible, and for so we will end it here. And thank you for everyone for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Yo, In the lab with the gang, we discussing the scales. Blood pythons and short tails, no fairy tales. Dropping knowledge about the herbs, wisdom prevails. Keeping the reptiles safe, breaking out of jails. Bloods and